I'm gonna, I'll sit over here, so I'll put there.
Thank you for attending our safety committee meeting of Wednesday, April 16th, starting at 1:30 p.m. And I have a motion to approve the agenda. So Mike, is second?
I'll second.
Oh. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's.
I'll catch you next time.
All those in favor say aye. All right, our agenda is good. We have minutes here from our previous meeting of February 27th. And this was a special meeting that replaced our December meeting. To be in compliance with the state. And I have a motion to approve the Thursday, February 27th state meeting. Pete and Mike gets the second. Any changes to those minutes? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Right. We're good.
Do you wanna talk about the letter that we got from, workers' compensation?
Oh, we got a letter that having submitted our quarterly minutes, we're in compliance with the state workers' comp commission. And, what else did it say?
That we're in compliance,
Right,
yeah.
so we got a good job. We'll leave you alone until our next non-publicized inspection. So they just popped
10
in.
years.
It took 10 years for the last. I think, with the state cracking down, everyone's being more careful with their record keeping. So we're in compliance, we're doing what we're supposed to do. The only thing that they wanted me to work on was that our membership has to be 50% non-directors. So that people who may feel endangered in their working lives can have a forum to change the work environment. So normally Beth would bring a non-management employee, but her employees are all working on a project for the school that's very time sensitive, we couldn't break away. And if we get to the point where membership becomes a problem, we might like invite Callie, or you might have Nevin come in, something like that, so we'll play that by ear. Speed cameras. So right now, we did get an analysis back from the speed camera company showing where speed limits are over, like 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. Surprisingly, it was not on Route 6. I thought they flew on Route 6, but when I talked to you, oh, and this is Trooper Gary Allen, Sharon Gage, resident. I think everybody else here knows Trooper. Yeah, but we were looking at, I think Route 6, because the speed limit's already higher than,
Yeah, it goes 45, 50, going through Andover to Bolton,
right,
switches from a 50 to a 45 depending on location, but.
so you'd have to be going 65 or 70.
I mean, they can go 60 miles an hour, but that realistically is just one lane on each side. So if you, and it's a high traffic area, so if you have a lot of like tractor trailers driving and whatnot, you can't speed, and it's a no passing zone, so. You're kind of just stuck behind a truck, the length from Bolton to the end of 6 and 66, so. I mean, that's not, they still speed, yes, coming off the LAH onto 6. But that's not that's where you're gonna get most of your accidents, because people are gonna try to. And then head on collisions or
Right,
passing on the right, but
They passed in the tournament.
yeah,
And they passed
They pass on the right, they pass our trucks.
Yeah, so that's the majority of what you get, it's not necessarily speeding, it's more of like them just trying to pass. When I'm supposed to,
Right,
when the speeding is like I said, like the school area, turns to a 35 coming up the hill, there's a sign that says speed limit 35, you're still going 50. And if the light's green, they're just,
they're even going faster.
and then coming down the hill, up the hill, past the church, same thing, it's a 35 coming down the hill, they're not, no one's going 35.
So when they go through the 66-87 intersection, they're trying to make the light, which is why
If it's green, yes,
they're going so fast.
or even coming up the hill from the gas station, they're. Okay, I get maybe 40, 45, but there's no need to go 60 miles an hour up a hill.
Right.
When you're about to pass the school and the fire station, so.
So that segues to, we are looking at an automatic speed enforcement camera that'll give a ticket. So we've had that analysis, is what we're talking about, and they're showing us where, and I also sat through.
Yeah.
We have Justin. We also had I sat through a crash safety pedestrian walking system, and Sherry, I can give you a copy of this. It shows where the fatals have been in Columbia. And it's really, one fatal was Hennequin in 66, and another was, I think it looks like, I think this is 87. Between 2019 and 2023. And then they have one of the concerned high risk areas. The worst one is really right at the curve by the dam on 87. That we had the rumble strip discussion last night, public hearing presentation. And then they're showing again, right where Trooper Allen was describing right before, School Street, 66 by the firehouse. And then again, looks like it's more towards, Pine or west. I'm not sure. My map, one of the original maps you can see. No, not a fatality, high risk, high risk. We do the way people are driving. And basically the fatal serious crashes, the worst was 2020, was that COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like everyone sped up and drove like maniacs during COVID.
Trying to get rid of the germs.
And then you can see, and then 2021, nothing, 2022, 1, 2022 was good again. But we basically have a crash almost one a week in Columbia. Car accident. And I'm doing that on average. 2019, we had 56 crashes, 2020, 53, 21, 50. 2022, 48 crashes, and 2023, 52 crashes.
Are they getting the data from the state police? Because a lot of times there's an accident, they won't call, there'd be no injury, so the fire department.
I map source ESRI. This is the Capital Region Transportation Safety Action Plan. I don't know where they pulled it from. So last night for the rumble strip, we had the center line rumble strip discussion on 2 spots on the curves of 87 by the lake. Pretty much 30 people came out and said it would ruin their lives. No way, I don't want to hear a rumble strip. The DOT tried to explain that there are mumble strips, which are little rumble strips, not like on the highway on the sides where they really scream at you. These are subtle, but people said, no way, we want LED lit signage that says, this is what your speed is, you need to slow down, or LED chevrons showing. And I closing the thing here, these have just gone up in Hebron. They're LED stop signs, solar powered. It's on that cut through on Mill Stream, right at Kinney. I guess there was a bad accident there where someone got T-boned.
Yes, somebody didn't stop, yeah.
Yeah, so these are available now. In stop sign, but they also have them in other types of signs. Sharp curve, where the LEDs blink at you. So you maybe, we'll see if that, there might be something we consider for areas that were having problems. And I also enclosed in here, Beth, I think I already gave you this, hopefully I did. We just signed it, the speed limit signs are being updated to
No.
replace,
You didn't give it to me.
well, you haven't now. Cause
So
Steven
they're
signed
gonna
it,
replace everyone in town?
well, they're telling us which roads, if you go to Columbia, Steven, I think just signed this last night. So if you find Columbia,
Quite a few roads.
yeah,
That looks like,
quite a few, so maybe they're updating all of them, but they're updating the speed limit.
And there's one on the next page too.
Can I ask a question?
that's a huge
Yes.
savings.
If they're putting up new speed limit signs, I think, I've noticed that on Hennepin Road where there's a lot of people walking, the speed limit is, I think, at the very beginning of the road on the far corner, so like, it's really, like, if you're driving, you don't really ever see a speed limit on that road. It seems like if it were in a different location, it would be more useful. Because I think when people are at that intersection, they're thinking about people and other cars and they're not really seeing the speed limit sign there. I
There's,
think there's only one right there.
yeah, there's guidelines that you're supposed to have a speed limit sign within so many feet of entering a new road. And then not until another road would. So Hennepin would only require one on Lake Road and 87.
Yeah, and it's hard to find there for sure. And I remember wondering for a long time what the speed limit was.
Okay,
There, it's not marked anywhere else. It's a little- just fine.
okay, especially for right near Rec Park.
Yeah, absolutely, that would be a great place to go on.
Beth, could you?
Well, if they're doing this, let's see what they do and if we need additional.
We can put one up ourselves, okay, good, so we'll see
Cause they'll do it according to,
their regs,
well, the national, the federal regulations.
so sign near Rec Park.
Yeah.
And why do I have a note, stop sign at Lake Road?
Well, you
Someone
had
call that
me,
in?
no, you had me upgrade those and they've all been installed. The larger with the red,
With the little
Stripe.
lollipop stripe,
yeah, they're all installed.
okay, great, so that is done. Thank you. And Jake, community garden,
Yeah, so, well, actually, it's gonna tell your browser too, what's here, but, so last week, we had, well, I got a call from Leslie, who helps run the community garden things up there, that a resident had told her that there was someone making her feel very uncomfortable. She's an older lady all by herself at the garden. And there was a guy who was just kind of like walking around, just like as she's inside the garden and walking kind of the perimeter, just like making aggressive noises or something at her.
had she ever, does she know who he is?
We have an idea who it is, but there's no cameras up there to who said person is. Based on the car they drove, and the person has a little bit of history with being a little out there, so. It's just something, I don't know if we want to install a camera, I don't know if we want to at least put a sign up there. I had Leslie send out an email saying, if you ever need assistance, you can call Jake at the rec office, I'll come right down. If you feel like you really need somebody, you can call 911 or Troop K, right,
The problem is when Trooper Allen
Right.
gets notified a week later of this,
yeah,
nothing. he can
exactly,
do unless
yeah,
he gets a call. 911. The beauty is 911 is, it doesn't have to be like you're about to die. It could be, I really need a trooper and.
yeah, and in that
He's
situation.
on duty, so he just swing over.
Yeah, and that's what, in that situation, I would just tell them, do that first, and then I'll come afterwards, just because I think they might even get there before me, because I might not necessarily be at the office or something, so.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, I did leave them a voicemail that day, just kind of updating what happened, so. It was just a little disconcerting to hear, and then, the issue I told you about where we weren't sure if something was necessarily vandalized, but we kind of came to the conclusion that it probably wasn't, it's just a lot of wear and tear. But, yeah, just having someone just be strange up there and making people feel uncomfortable by themselves, I mean, it is kind of like, there's that house across the street, but otherwise, it's kind of like. Out there, it's not like downtown where cars are constantly going by and there's a lot of foot traffic, like. So I can understand why one person alone up there might feel unsafe at times.
Got time to take the road?
Yeah, sure,
I actually myself had an incident just about a month ago down there.
really,
Similar, I was going down to charge my car and somebody started kind of harassing me. They kept driving the car this way, getting out, driving the car.
what color was the car?
They looked like they were drinking and driving to the bathroom and then over next to my car and then started yelling stuff at me. And so I just drove away and didn't go back.
This is his egg? Or at Rec Park?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a different place, right? This was down at the beach.
This is at the beach. Oh,
Okay, I thought you were talking about the beach.
Well, it doesn't matter where, but it happened,
yeah, no, well, thanks for saying so.
It was a truck with two people that appeared,
They were drinking.
yeah.
Well, thanks for letting us know, yeah, no, it's just. Like I said, and that could be a place too, like if you're down at the beach, say you were like, I don't know, just like walking on the beach itself, like there's no one else down there. Thankfully, we at least have cameras at the Murphy house, but it's said we have nothing,
Oh,
and you have to tell us to look at the cameras, cause
yeah,
we don't go back and watch hours of video if no one's there.
yeah.
But if you call 911 and give them the license plate, then they could just look it up and go wait for them at home.
yeah, and I was just surprised because I
Oh,
never
Trooper Al.
experienced anything like that.
Sherry had an incident where she was at Murphy House. And she was about to plug her car in to charge it,
Mhm.
and a pickup truck with person,
With two people in it, were just like swearing a lot and looked like they'd been drinking and they drove up and parked by the porta potty and then they got back in their car and drove next to the car charger, which is right there, not very far, and started yelling at me. And I didn't come here to report this, it came up because you had mentioned somewhere else and I remembered that this had just happened to me about a month ago. I was gonna charge my car, but I decided not to, and I got back and got my car, drove away as fast as I could, and I didn't go back. I was gonna leave it there to charge for a few hours, but I didn't wanna go back. It's never happened to me before, I mean, the beach has always felt really safe, that was just an incident
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened.
about a month ago. And, yeah, so, really, but it wasn't a safe situation.
Yeah, I'm sure it was scary, I'm sorry that happened too.
so I suggested Sherry, in that case, call 911, give a report of the car, license plate, best.
Yeah, so the biggest thing, and it kind of goes into the whole garden issue that, has come to my attention. If something is occurring in that moment and you feel unsafe, I can't tell you when not to. If you feel unsafe, call 911 and have one of us go there and deal with this situation. It could be nothing, but at least we showed up, or it could be something and then we deal with it then and there. Whereas like, if we're waiting and then saying something, there's not a whole lot we can do.
Sure.
For your situation, absolutely 100 times we would go out there. And majority of the time, they probably were intoxicated and now we'll deal with them and we'll solve that situation. So you don't have to just wait just because you know there's resident troopers, like, oh, I don't know how to contact him, 911. They will contact me if I'm on usually days. I switch to you sometimes, but they will contact me, if not me, other troopers that are patrolling the area will go out and deal with the situation. It's just like we can only do so much if we're being told afterwards. But if you are feeling unsafe 100% all day, every day, 911, or just call the troop and say, can I get a trooper out here? These guys are screaming at me. I don't know what's going on. They seem intoxicated. Give a description, like you were saying. That would just help us. So if they start driving away and the troopers responding, like, okay, the car just passed me, and then we'll deal with them. And we'll have someone come and meet up with you, or you can just come to the trooper's office.
Good.
And I didn't mean to take away from the.
Oh, no, I was just kind of going over like what the voice known, then I got yours back, so I figured we just talk about it one more here. So, yeah, like I said, it's pretty much just, there was a resident, I guess, that had reported to someone else, who then reported to me, kind of went down the line.
Yeah.
That, like, yeah, she was at the garden, you know, she was an older lady, and she's by herself, and you have no cameras up there or anything, and it's kind of like, have you been to the community garden?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, there's a house across the street, but otherwise there's not a lot of traffic, and it's kind of a little secluded.
Okay.
And so like. There was this guy that showed up and was like, well, she's inside the garden and it's like, no, there's a fence and everything, and the lot and a gate. And she was just minding her business, and this guy like starts like, just kind of circling the perimeter a little bit and like making aggressive noises towards her or something. We have a feeling we know who it is, but there's nothing to prove it, there's no cameras, we didn't get a license plate or anything. But like, you know, this is something I wanted to pass along to you. Just because, you know, I can understand why it would make someone feel unsafe, but unfortunately, you know, that's all the information I have right now, but. You know, I did ask the person who kind of facilitates the community garden, just to send out an email to all the gardeners saying, if you feel unsafe, call 911.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if there's something you need, just, you can reach out to me and I'll come down, but really, if you feel very unsafe at the moment, just.
Yeah, so, yeah, with that, like I said, I can't tell someone when they feel unsafe.
Right, exactly, yep,
If you feel uncomfortable in a situation.
exactly, yeah.
And, you know, if we can broadcast this to the town, they need to call, if they're really unsafe, 911.
Right.
If they're not, if it's just like, hey, this guy seems like he's drunk, he's in the area, we don't really notice him, don't know who he is, call the troop. If I'm on, they're gonna dispatch me to it. I'm usually out on the road driving around, so if you see me, you can stop me and be like, hey, I just left the garden or wherever.
Right,
And Mark has my number, my direct line, so if that's the case, I'll just tell the troop I'm heading out there, they'll put me on the call, if we need more resources, we'll get them. But the biggest thing is just like, just call.
exactly,
I'm here, it takes me 2 seconds to get to a location if I'm really needed. But I'm usually out driving around for that reason, so if there is anything that's happening, I can try to stop it or deter it from occurring sooner than just kind of waiting
Yeah.
for something to happen.
exactly, yeah, totally.
But yeah, the biggest thing is just for the town, is just call 911 if you feel unsafe. If it's not a serious situation, call the troop, I'm usually on during the day, they'll send me to it and we'll deal with it.
Perfect, thanks.
Just for the board's knowledge, today between 3 and 4, the Willimantic Police Department is gonna do some. Imagine some safety dive training off of your pier at the Murphy House.
Kevin told me.
Okay, so they were gonna do it in the Willimantic River, but it's too cold to win. Don't know if our lake is any warmer. Maybe less windy.
It's pretty windy over there, especially at the beach.
It's a nasty day out. Got a chill to it.
Yeah.
Any thing from board? Comments from board members? For the safety committee?
So we're not gonna be doing the rumble strips or the bone strips or, you know.
Well, not based on,
Mumbles.
not based on the feedback I heard last night at the meeting.
Okay.
I know the board of selectmen weren't happy. They don't want to feel responsible if someone actually does get harmed for not doing a bare minimum safety upgrade.
Was anyone in favor of it?
No,
Not even the homeowner that's ready to move because of.
I don't know. if
Yeah, I
they
don't
were
think
there.
they were there, Maggie Ewald had said that he was not there.
Yeah, you're right. The homeowner where everybody crashes into their yard. We've had 2 cars flip over, one actually caught on fire.
They both caught on fire.
They both caught on fire? Yeah, so it's not good.
Going.
Towards the end of it.
They didn't make that's tricky road right there, going both ways.
So I've got to get in touch back with Rob Smith, transportation engineer, who was in charge of that, and we need a new game plan.
Just thought is putting up more signs isn't gonna stop someone from speeding.
I know.
They barely pay attention to the speed signs, so,
What about our automatic speed sign right there?
I mean, it just tells them how fast they're going, but they probably already know.
But we'll give them tickets.
I mean, that's on you guys, again, that's a whole rabbit hole where now you need, cause that will be nothing I deal with.
Right.
That's.
You've made
town.
that clear to me. truthfully.
Yes, that is town itself, because even with the state, when we give tickets and people fight them, it goes to court, we show up at court, we have to testify. And the state pays us overtime, it's a lot, and then for the town specifically to do that, give out tickets and it's money for the town. Like, that's a whole other political thing that I can help guide maybe for questions, but. When it comes to actually enforcement, I wouldn't have anything to do with that
So
specifically.
what was your idea? You
More.
said not more signage.
I'm just saying, we're just putting up more signs isn't gonna really do much. I mean, the biggest thing that I pointed out to you were to get the yellow flashy lights in
Right.
the school zone. Which you said DOT was saying no to.
But maybe I can get them to rethink it, maybe it's something as a simple solar powered one.
I mean, if you have a meeting with them, I'd meet with you. I have connections in DOT, I can try to
Okay.
speak with them.
That might be the next step,
Their
Jim.
headquarters is in Newington, so I mean, I can be like, hey, this is the school zone, cars are flying.
Yeah, so we have that issue in this 87, around the dam, the curves, the
Yeah.
dam issue.
I think what we heard a lot last night, which makes sense, but almost every single person mentioned it, was that the trucks, the tractor trailers and the trucks, all of them are just
Flying.
flying through there. And, you know, it was like every single person said it, you know.
And I'm not gonna say like what is flying to them, right,
Yeah.
perception, because I've sat on 87 a lot. Both ways, at each end, in the middle, and the tractor trailers couldn't fly if they tried through that, because they would just roll over. Or just, it'd be a mess, so, and actually I've driven behind them and it's like going 2 miles an hour going up the hill, because they literally they're not going fast enough on that curve. To then really go up, so.
Downshifting.
I mean, maybe coming down, they're going a little faster, I don't know, I mean, the truck trailer sound louder than they actually are driving.
Maybe that's more.
Remember
But-
when we met with the
Yeah,
speed person,
said
he
that.
said it just is perceived because they're so large.
So large.
And that's the thing, they're just so
We-
big, so them coming down at 5 miles is different than
Car.
a car coming down at 10, so. It's perception, I mean, everyone's gonna have complaints of speeding, but again, I'm out there. I have no problem giving everyone tickets, if we're complaining about it, then we'll try to solve the issue, however. Majority of the people that complain are the ones speeding.
Right.
So, as long as they understand that if they want
Yeah,
something.
the accidents aren't tractor trailer
Yeah.
trucks, they're cars.
They're cars, and it's usually probably at night, when they're doing a cut through, cause 87 is a cut through, they don't wanna drive all the way
Yeah.
around on 6, so. Just so everyone's aware, I'm definitely aware of the situation, I'm out there, people see me, they wave at me, and I'm like, hey, I'm here. For perception, because, they want their complaints heard, and we understand that.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, people are gonna drive the way they wanna drive until they get caught. It's not an issue until it's an issue, and that's everywhere.
Okay,
So, I mean, I will do as much enforcement as I can out there, that's why I'm never really in the office, but 87 is just a rough spot because of the curves and the up and downs, and so
And there's no shoulder.
there's no shoulder, so even like putting the bumble, rumble, whatever strips down, by the time they hit those, it's already too late. And then putting more signage is just spending money the town could be using to something else, because people aren't paying the sign, they're not paying attention to the signs that are already there. So that's my only thing, it's like, I mean, you guys do what you please, but I just find that putting up more signs has never stopped anyone from speeding or driving faster than they should. It's a residential area, there's no reason you should be going 50, 60 miles an hour. Which I pulled people who were going 52 and they're like, oh, I didn't notice, well, you should, because
the houses are 4 feet from
they're
the,
literally right there, so.
okay,
That's my comment.
You could just bring up pavement markings. A lot of times you're watching the road and not really paying attention to every sign that said right on the pavement, slow.
oh, like
yeah.
you spray paint the road,
Yeah, you're looking, most likely you're looking forward. A lot of times people don't see signs on the side of the road.
neat road. Like curve ahead,
Well, some kind of pavement marking. Cause I find those more effective.
Okay, good. Got it. Sherry, did you have anything you wanted to bring for us, or?
No, just one thing.
Good, thank you for coming. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I have another thing, the stop sign right in front of my office on Lake Road. People just, I don't know if you can tell this, but like, people just continuously just floor right through it,
Just eat it.
just eat it.
Okay, cause I saw it on the
Yeah,
thing that was sent out and I wasn't sure what
so,
the issue was.
yeah, so the Murphy House, they just go right to the stop sign.
Okay,
They do not stop there, and I know like people like Sherry who walks there every day, runs there and brings their dogs there, and like. People go up and down there all the time, just floor like, and then, you know, people are coming out from the beach, like, or if I'm leaving my office. People are turning, whatever, they just don't, they never regard that sign.
Okay.
Like, I'm sitting in my office, I have a window right here, and I just see whoop, people going through it every day.
it's easy enough.
Stop sign must be just a suggestion.
Yeah,
And is that one of the ones you replaced with the?
Yeah, we put up 4 larger ones.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
you
why,
definitely see
that's
it.
why.
yeah, no, yeah, the stop sign itself is a quality stop sign, it's just people ignoring it, that's all.
No, but that's why we put it up, a larger one
Yeah.
with the red, but people just,
Just, yeah, no,
it's scary when you're doing work down there.
yeah,
There never was a stop sign there years and years and years ago, that's just the last. Who knows how many years, but it was always just a stop on, Hennecker, but not, Lake never stopped.
Oh, Lake was straight through.
Yeah.
Hennecker was the only stop.
Yeah.
That is the hard thing of putting making a four-way out of something that's.
yeah, but it's still a stop sign and most people, and again, it's the people in the town, cause. I don't understand why you would go that way if you're not living in over that way, but. They're the ones running it and they drive it every day, so they know it's there, and then once they start getting pulled over for it and ticketed. They're gonna complain that, well, I always drive this way, well, I wasn't always here, so. Knowing that, I will sit there and
Good.
I'll sit in the back,
Thank you,
and when they
yes.
run it, I'll start enforcing it, but these are things that I also need to know, so
no,
like.
appreciate
In
it.
these big locations, especially now with the summer coming and spring, cause people that are out walking, I see it all the time just driving around and I'm just like. Okay, well, I'm starting enforcing here, cause more people are out walking and there's no sidewalks, or, you know, I saw that car just fly by, that person with a dog, and like that could be a bad thing, so.
No, I remember one of the, I think the first piece of advice Mark gave me when I started, he said, make sure you look 3 times at a point out of the beach, because that's where my office is, because people will just run straight through it. And I do every time, because some people just don't care, just whoop,
You almost need eyeball contact to make sure
yeah.
they are actually.
I always like, if people are coming, I always just let them go, because I'm not taking a chance, just go, I'm not in a hurry, go, so.
That's easy.
Anybody else? A motion to adjourn the meeting at 2:03. So moved. All in favor? Thank you, everyone. And Brown, I want you to leave with this accident map, one of the ones that you can actually use. This one. Well, this will give you fatalities, high injury, high risk. And I don't know where CROG, which is my council regional government, they're doing a whole study on trying to, in the whole CROG area. I just pulled my heart out now.
I don't know, I never purchased one.
Trying to, so.
Were they?
Not with the solar power, you're probably $1,500.
Yeah, right before.
Wow.
No, not where I have suggested that they put,
Oh, those little pedestrian signs that you put out here on the crosswalks. Those are like $300.
So they're gonna put
They're not stop signs, speed limit.
Oh, these are gonna be speed limits?
Do any signage.
Which is nice.
Oh, no.
That'll save us a lot of money.
That'd be terrible. A lot of roads.
They are, but they.
I think that
They say it.
Put it to 25 and
They-
5.
Sounds good.
Just
Yeah.
do a little, get Phil, you on your turn.
do the
No,
50
if you
feet.
leave on my chair.
Cause they're even
You
doing
can sign up.
Bears Den
Yeah.
in Woods, so
Well,
they're
they
doing
do a
all
lot
the
of
roads.
people.
Let me get you your stickers,
I
Dave.
know, fine, like that area.
It's 39 roads there, a lot of dead ends.
Many friends requesting a lot.
Carrington Drive, that's a dead end.
Because I
Scalise
walk.
Drive, that's a dead end.
So those will only get,
This time
you know,
Once
one.
yeah, Samuel Hill, Samuel Hill, that's a worship.
People are out walking.
Oh, nice, I
But
just
still,
started
all
seeing.
the
Yeah,
roads-
no, that's a dead end.
Hennepin Lake, a
Lake,
lot of
I
walking.
think it's because.
It'll be brand new and they'll have a breakaway for like.
But they're very active. They go.
Oh, Wood Lane, that's the-
Roads run up down here.
Warren, that's a dead end. Big Lane.
And 87, I mean, people walking around on 87.
Yeah,
Don't-
Even when I'm like, I go on.
I-
Diagonal